Howdy Eggs, I'm Andrew the Grad Assistant. I'm here to talk to you today about the application process in member selection. The information today is based off of the survey you filled out, SGA Committee Chairs, in October 2008, and some of my basic HR knowledge that I have. I'm going to talk about determining those key skills and abilities for member selection, creating those questions, the scoring rubrics, and reading the application is kind of the most important part. So that's it. Let's go. Okay, so the vast majority of U committees utilize some sort of application in your member selection process. Various SGA organizations either utilize the standard Exec Council app or create your own. EIC is the only SGA committee who does not use any form of application, as anyone who wants to be a member is able to join. They've really assessed their mission, purpose, values, and determined, you know what, we don't need an application. For those of you creating your own application, you have a couple questions you need to think about before going forward. You need to determine how many people are you going to take, how many people get interviews, and most importantly, what are you looking for in a member. We will talk about assessment of the member position in a moment. Something that I've asked the committee chairs is to describe why they have an application process. It may seem obvious, but many SGA committees do not have a distinct reason for utilizing applications. Almost every committee asks multiple short answer essay questions, but only a handful actually grade the responses, and some don't even read them. You're asking these individuals to spend their time and effort to answer the questions, but yet you do not even fully read them? That hardly seems fair or respectful to the candidate. If your application process is merely for notification that they would like to join, then maybe you need to assess your process and determine what questions need to be asked and not asked, or if any questions need to be asked at all. If the purpose of your process is to cut down the list of applicants who get interviews, then be sure that each question you're asking has a purpose and will assess what is necessary. Prior to creating interview questions, you need to determine what you're looking for in an applicant. Try to be specific and name things that can be assessed or measured. Everyone wants an honest, genuine person as a member, but are you really able to assess this effectively so that you can see those who are not honest or genuine in the application? Really target questions that are going to get various responses. Now, if you're looking for someone who has at least 1 year of leadership experience, that's something that's very targeted. You can tell immediately from the application. As anyone who's worked with me before can attest, my big mantra is have a purpose. Know what your application process is for. Know what your questions are doing, what the purpose of them is. Have a purpose. Just to hammer home this point a little bit further, let's talk about purposeful questions. Be sure that every question asked on the application is relevant to the skills and abilities necessary to be a successful member. For example, ARC could ask, please describe how you'd recruit a high school student to attend Texas A&M. This would be a great way to assess their ability to persuade high school students to come check out the university and really show what these potential ARC members know about both high school students and the university itself. All questions on the application should be traced back to the skills and abilities you deem necessary for membership. You and your exec team should plan this out well before creating any of these questions. You may think a question asking about what their favorite animal is funny, but it really doesn't add anything to the process and doesn't really give you any new information. SGA organizations can create online applications so that the process is paperless and information can be stored completely online. If you'd like to pursue this route, you'll need to determine what fields you would like included on this online form. You'll also need to set up a brief meeting with IT to go over the logistics. Contact Buster Neese at bneece@stuac.tamu.edu for more information. This is a great way to be on the cutting edge in a way and cut down on all the clutter that comes with numerous applications. Everything goes in the same document. Your exec team can look at all the information on laptops or in the SGA conference room on the big screen. This is a great way to go, and I encourage everyone to do this. Okay, say you're accepting applications for an exec position or membership in your organization requires, a lot of experience and you can be selective. then you should maybe ask the applicant to submit an involvement resume. They can list all their previous organization membership and leadership roles into one kind of condensed place. It's a great way to possibly see how those previous roles can interrelate into this new role. Okay, after you determine what skills and abilities you're going to base your questions off of, and after you figured out what those questions will be, now it's time to create a scoring rubric. By creating a scoring rubric for application questions, you can really ensure that all applications are being assessed on the same criteria, and each reader has something to base their selection off of. As you create application questions, kind of determine what would be an exceptional answer, what would be an average answer, what would be a really poor answer. You don't have to be specific, but you should be able to provide guidelines to people scoring the applications of what they should expect from each question. For more assistance, please utilize the question and answer creating document located in the best practices of the SGA Ops Manual. It should help you and just yet again be real consistent and make sure everyone's being assessed on the same criteria. Okay, so we've talked about the skills and abilities you need to base your selection process off of. We've talked about creating your questions, creating your scoring rubric. Now is the very most important part of this whole process, reading the applications. Let's talk about that now. It is so surprising how many committees do not thoroughly assess the applications that they make the applicants complete. Please respect your applicants' time and effort by reading their applications. If you do not fully assess them, then what's the point of making your applicants complete these long essay questions? You'll be better able to determine who gets interviews, why they should get interviews, and who's the best candidate. Okay, so now after all of this, I still have a few more points to leave you with. First, no pictures are allowed on applications. This is a new rule set by SGA in fall 2008, so no pictures, mandatory, optional, no pictures are allowed in applications. Also, start working your way towards maybe nameless applications, just going off of numbers and no one's name, especially during the actual selection process of choosing people. You'll get away from people choosing friends or basing it off of stuff that's really not important to the whole process. Work your way towards not discriminating on gender, race, sex, anything like that, religion. Keep it as neutral as possible here in SGA. That's pretty much it. That's all I have for you. If you'd like to talk about this further, please stop by my office, send me an email, give me a phone call, whatever. I want to talk. Thanks and gig 'em.